Your global perspective. So having worked in different countries, having experienced that sort of cross-cultural business experience, what do you think you can leverage from those learnings that will sort of make Win Mobile stand out in Canada?
What else would you like?
It's a long answer. Truthfully, so Canada, about 8 years ago, Canada was actually leading in terms of mobile development.
Okay.
So in terms of applications, even rates, truthfully, technology, they were leading. Nothing happened for the last 8 years. So if you go to any other country in the world, it's far more developed than Canada is. So it's technology, it's network, it's handsets. So that's one part of it.
Yeah.
Then there's also the entire business model. So the idea of unsubsidized handsets, no contracts, no exclusivity for handsets. GSM alone in Canada is just now coming.
Right.
Europe, Asia, it's been around for years.
Okay.
So those things are just massive, massive differences. And then so we brought in all these people from overseas. I cannot explain to anybody from overseas what long distance is. They don't understand it. If you're in a country in Europe, you're calling within that country, it's a local call. This whole idea that if you're in Oakville and you're calling to Toronto, it's long distance, or Hamilton, nobody understands that.
Okay.
The idea of charging for incoming calls, nobody in the rest of the world understands that.
Okay.
So actually one of my biggest challenges is explaining to people that are from overseas the whole Canadian model, and truthfully we just got tired of it, so that's part of the reason why we're changing things, was just to get rid of those. So for us it's let's kind of try and get Canada caught up with the rest of the world. Take away the stupid things that Canada's just held on to for a while. And then again, it was what I was talking about, just the different perspective on the business.
Right.
I mean, in our office right now, we've got 18 different languages that are spoken in our headquarters.
Okay.
So we've got everybody. It's great.
And so you see that the international experience really contributes to rich conversations.
It's huge. I mean, if you look at it, again, obviously I'm subjective, but if you look at the incumbents, almost everybody at a management level out of Bell, Rogers, or TELUS has worked at least out of 2 out of those 3 operators.
Okay.
So all they're doing is taking the same experience and moving them on.
Right.
And then you look at customer feedback and they say that they've been to Bell, they leave Bell, they go to Rogers, it's the same experience.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of them, but they all look exactly the same because they keep on trading the same people and doing the same things.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is bring in some fresh blood, essentially, and some different perspectives.
Okay. And so a lot of these conferences we go to, and just sort of mobile industry gurus and people that are sort of industry experts keep saying that, mobile's the next game changer. Mobile marketing is the way of the future. So we keep hearing that, and I'm just wondering, when is the future coming? Because it's not here yet, but we keep hearing that it's coming.
Yeah.
So what needs to happen for it to be here?
It's a really good question. So I launched mobile advertising for Vodafone in Prague as the first test case. This was almost 2.5 years ago now. So I'm hugely passionate about mobile advertising. So to answer your question, what needs to happen to change it? All of the operators have to get together and agree. The technology has existed for 8 years. There's nothing new with the technology.
Yeah.
But if you think about it from a Coke or a Pepsi or a big advertiser perspective, you're not going to go into a country and just be able to advertise on one channel. You want to be able to advertise with the same format, the same ad, on multiple channels.
Okay.
Exact same thing with mobile advertising. If you're talking to an advertiser, they want to be able to advertise on everybody's networks.
Okay.
So it will take Bell, Rogers, TELUS, us, whoever else, to get together to agree on the platform, to agree on the technology, the standards, to let it happen on all networks. Then it'll be attractive to advertisers. But until then, it's not going to be attractive to advertisers.
And I mean, because data plans are so expensive in Canada, it just deters people from even having a data plan. So how can we even sort of have that conversation when basic things like that aren't even sort of accessible to the general population?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, prices in Canada, everybody's talked about the prices are ridiculous in Canada. They are going to come down. So it might take a while for the incumbents to get there. They will come down to global standards and people will start using it. Then you look at things like a RIM phone. It actually optimizes the data on the back end. So a RIM phone, when downloading the same amount of data as an iPhone, uses about 1/10 as much network capacity. So there are technologies out there that will actually allow customers to do the roaming you're talking about.
Okay. So I guess it just becomes about then having that grander conversation and synergies across the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you.